Good morning, Kevin here. It's a bright, sunny Friday morning and I'm just walking around Cowdray Polo fields. Let me just try and spin the camera around to show you what I'm looking at. Well, you can tell really because I'm squinting like mad. Let me just show you through there. I'm going to tilt it down. Beautiful day in West Sussex, in Midhurst. Looking away there towards the Cowdray ruins and the South Downs, which are clouded in or covered in mist and fog, which is what is now been or being burnt away by the sun. When I first woke up this morning and pulled the blinds up on my windows in my bedroom, it was misty all around. Outside, just down on the road, the 286 at the back of my house was very misty. But gradually, with the heat of the sun, it's being burnt away. Got my coffee, which I've just bought from the Cowdray cafe. A little bit dearer than everywhere else, but still very nice, and want to support any of these establishments that are open to supply us a service during this current lockdown. I don't think it's going to be long before I have to take my hat off because I'm getting very hot with the sun directly onto me. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on my regime, I suppose you would call it, to do with my type 2 diabetes. I've maintained the same weight of 11 stone 10 that I was last week, and I take my weight every Wednesday morning, first thing in the morning, because that was the first day 3 weeks ago that I started taking my metformin. Thankfully, I've had no side effects at all from taking the medication, and as with lots of medications, there is lots of side effects. And I've had my COVID vaccine, which was last Sunday. I received a text message 2 weeks ago on Tuesday offering me a vaccine. And when I studied it closely, it said for over 70s. So I spoke to my diabetic nurse last Thursday morning, and I said, I think I've been sent this by mistake. And she said, no, you haven't. What we don't want to do in Midhurst is, as happened in some areas, they've had to throw some away because of people not turning up. So to make sure they get the full quota used, they've thrown it open to other people in group 5. Well, she booked me an appointment straight away. Lunchtime last Sunday, went down to Riverbank Medical Centre in Midhurst and had my vaccine. Very well organised. The only slight issue I had was an aching arm at the top where they put it, the injection site, and that's it. That's the only side effects I had from that. So I was absolutely delighted. I always said that if I was going to be offered the vaccine, I would be first in a queue. And I was delighted to be offered it. Very happy to be about a month ahead of schedule. So my the more of us that get get this vaccine, the better. And my second one is due on the at the end of April, which would be the 12-week period that you have to wait. The first vaccines are going to slow up soon because they're going to have to start administering the second doses to people that have already had the first. So that will make a bit of an issue with the vaccine rollout. But the more of us that get vaccinated, the better. And the quicker it's done, the better. But it is worrying when you get all these new variations coming out. And I think we've got 3 in this country now. But it does seem that there's a link now in a few cases, about 12 cases, where one of the variants is now linked up with another variant, which is going to possibly make it more difficult to deal with the vaccines, because they don't know how effective the vaccines are going to be. I've got about another just over 2 weeks, I think it is, before I get the protection from my first vaccination, which I think is around 80 or 90%. And the one thing about that is great, it means that there will be fewer people, morning, being admitted to hospital with severe COVID. It's very sad that I'm aware of several people that have suffered or are suffering from long COVID. One is a relative of mine, and she is nearly a year now with long COVID and still suffering from some effects of it. Fatigue being the main one, I think. So the camera, I've just realised, is facing directly into the sunlight, but hey ho, it's a beautiful day. And there we are, the Cowdray ruins lit up by the sunlight. I wish I'd been out a bit earlier, actually, probably an hour and a half earlier, because the ruins would have been completely encased with mist, and that would have been a fantastic shot to have. Well, I'm just coming onto Miller's Causeway now with the very swollen River Rother just in front of me. Very swollen indeed. It's not broken the banks yet. Let me show you the other side as it comes down from North Mill. But there's a lot of people out again today getting their exercise, and now I'm leaving the nice sunny polo fields to the rather gloomy looking towards the town with the mist that's still hanging low. Well, I'm now on the bridge that's halfway across the causeway, and just in front of me, which is underneath or to the side of the bridge, is all this water, which all this area is a floodplain and catchment area for when the River Rother bursts its banks. And if I come across this side, you can see again how much water is laying here, and just where those trees are, that is where the river bank is. And if I pan round this way, you'll see a building just across there, and that's North Mill. That's the mill house or mill building that used to have a working mill in it. So I'm just heading up towards the main car park and bus station in Midhurst, and they've got the COVID vaccine centres open today and tomorrow. The one being run by the MH Pharmacy has got 800 vaccines to administer today and tomorrow, which is 400 a day. And of course they've got the Riverbank vaccine centre, vaccinations being done at the medical centre. But let me just cross over and show you the liching on these branches. Well, I've just had a phone call from the Inland Revenue. Has anybody ever heard of the Inland Revenue ringing you up themselves? So the call was cancelled, and when I get home that call number will be blocked. Anyway, I'm just coming up to the end of the causeway now, so this will be Kevin saying bye bye, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Bye.